Okay, today we're going to be going over what I think is very important. We're going to try and get some of you to stop using Google. And I'm going to go ahead and read over DuckDuckGo's reasons for not using Google and switching to DuckDuckGo or Quant or other search engines. Because Google, as you may know, tracks all of your data and as well as gives you biased information when you search, specifically in news and anything related to what is going on currently in our world. So we'll start with one and explain how Google tracks you, and we don't. Search secrets should remain private and away from targeting of advertisers because that's all Google does. Google mainly gives you search results based on who's going to pay them the most to get the most clicks. Uh, DuckDuckGo is more based on what gets the most clicks rather than who pays them the most to get the most clicks. DuckDuckGo apps block Google's hidden trackers. Google tracks where on 75% of top million websites. No thanks. It's explaining that Google tracks everything you do. Get unbiased results outside the filter bubble. We're committed to unbiased search that's never been based on your search history, hence algorithms that you're only going to see what you want to see. That's what Google's purpose is. It's to only show you exactly what you want to see rather than show you some other opinions, some other looks on things, and most importantly, some real facts, because that's been a huge problem in the media as of recently, where they're not giving you any facts and everything is based on bias, which is a serious problem. We really need people to start waking up to this stuff and stop using Google because you're just being fed false information. And if you have a hard time believing that, well, then why is Google the only search engine that practically everyone on this planet uses? Google, MSN, and Bing. And some few older people still use Yahoo. But as a lot of people don't know, Google is not even Google. Google is owned by a company named Alphabet, and Alphabet owns Google, MSN, Yahoo, Bing. It owns all of them. DuckDuckGo, Quant, and there's a few other search engines actually don't, they're not owned by them. So they'll give you unbiased information, which is very important. And finally, we have for number 4, stand up for a pro-privacy business model. The world needs an alternative to the collect-it-all business model. And that is another thing that DuckDuckGo does for people. DuckDuckGo never wants to share your information. They're not trying to collect your data. Everything that you do on DuckDuckGo is private. And no, I'm not getting paid by DuckDuckGo to make this video. Obviously not. I only have like 41 subscribers as of right now. But I really think we need people to stop using Google because Google is only going to give you biased search results. And I'll give you a perfect example right here, and it is one of the best examples that I have personally done. And of course, it is a conspiracy in itself. Now here you see I use Occasia. Occasia is too much like Google. I don't think it's as good as Google, or I don't think it's as bad as Google. I definitely think DuckDuckGo is the most safest search engine to use as of right now. It doesn't collect your data. It doesn't want to know your search history. It doesn't want to know who you are. They're not constantly trying to track who you are, where you are. It never asks for your location. But a perfect example of using DuckDuckGo and using Google is when you search, and yes, I know this is a very controversial phrase or a very controversial topic, but when you search QAnon, sorry, I misclicked there, search QAnon, and you will get Wikipedia, you will get BBC, and then you get the QAnons. When I found this page, I was so surprised that this even existed. Because if you go on to Google and you search for the same thing, nowhere will you find this website. You got NY Times, you got Wikipedia, you got The Atlantic, you got BBC, CBS, The Guardian, CNET, NBC, and then you can go pages through and still not find this website. The Guardian, CNN, Newsweek, ADL, Conversation, Seattle Times, Washington Post, NPR. They're all just news organizations when you search QAnon on Google. And then, if you really want to try to find the website on Google, you can search for the actual website's address. You can search for the website's address, the same address. And the last time I tried this, it took me to a fake website. See? It takes you to a completely separate website. So this website here does not exist on Google at all. It's been like completely banned off of Google. And it is by far like my most compelling evidence of the bias on these search engines, and it's a serious problem. Oh, I actually found it on Google, but I had to look up the exact website address in order to find it. Which, if you don't find that dishonest and you don't find that strange that they have to hide this website so badly, and all this website is to just post videos of YouTubers. Just post videos that are commonly found on YouTube. It's not even like anything serious. You know, we got Steven Crowder, you have Candace Owens, Russell Brand, you have their YouTube videos. None of this stuff is banned. There's nothing wrong with it. These are on YouTube. I'm subscribed to Russell Brand's page. They're, it's not even like they're trying to spread any false information like the news claims. They're just reposting videos of YouTubes. They're not making these insane claims that the news claims that they make. It's insane. And this is why I think people need to stop using Google. Because if you continue to use Google, you're not going to find what you're looking for. Yeah, I get it. Google is very helpful if you're looking for like stuff around you to do. That's one thing DuckDuckGo won't help you with. That's why I run DuckDuckGo and Google. I use Google for looking for things that are like close to me, because if you're gonna look up for like restaurants on DuckDuckGo, there's a good chance you're not gonna find any near you unless you look up the exact address that you're at. While Google is constantly tracking you and knows your precise location at every second, I think it's obvious that you should switch. But by all means, if you feel comfortable with Google constantly tracking every single move, every single click, every single thing you do on the internet, and I get that like people don't care about that, but we're talking about everything down to your personal life. It tracks every single thing. Every single word you say, it tracks. You can talk about things and people catch on to this stuff all the time. They'll pick it up. And no, I'm not talking about Alexa's picking up your voice. I'm talking about people who don't even own Alexas. I'm talking about way before that was even a thing. Way before Alexa was even a thing, people would talk about toilet paper or charcoal or whatever you want to looking to buy, and it would pop up in your Google search, and it would be like right there. Oh, or it would pop up in your Facebook ads. And Facebook is a perfect example as well. You have Mark Zuckerberg, who's been to numerous trials by now. He's probably been in court more than anyone else on the planet of this earth, on the surface of this earth. It's insane. And he's in trouble for all this tracking. But why isn't Alphabet, why aren't the same CEOs, the same owners of Alphabet held to the same question as, Mark Zuckerberg? It's very strange. And the reason is because they basically own the internet. Google is basically the internet at this point. And for all you people that don't like big corporations, uh you don't like the idea of people making all the money in the world and not sharing their wealth, then you should be directly against Google. Google is a monopoly, just like Walmart is a monopoly, just like Target is a monopoly, just like all the centralized banks are monopolies. We should not be supporting this. Monopolies are not good. And that's about all I have to say. I hope you guys enjoyed and take some of my words for consideration. Just try and switch to a different search engine. And that's why I'm saying use DuckDuckGo as an alternative, because it's not going to track you. It's not going to give you biased search results. It's going to help you find what you want to find. It's going to give you real news. It's going to give you the facts. Like, look at these tv.youtube.com, Linarc. You have all different sorts. Fox News, CNN. It's all based on click. That's how it used to be. Everything used to be based on how many numbers a page would get, rather than how much the advertiser is willing to pay Alphabet or Google. It used to be based on who has the best information, who is the most credible. And I've never even heard of Lyark. Never even heard of this news site. And another problem is the censorship of news. Like, people have, like, I don't even want to get started on the Rittenhouse trial. I don't even want to get started on the Maxwell trial. I don't even want, like, they're not covering it. They're not. That is what I'm most interested in right now, is the Maxwell trial, revealing Epstein and all this weird stuff that he was doing on that island to children. And if you look up Maxwell trial, New York Post, CBS, New York Times, ABC, The Guardian, Yahoo News. You don't see a CNN though. You don't see CNN at all. You also don't see Fox News at all. I'm sure if I looked up Maxwell trial on Google, NPR, New York Times, The Guardian, New York Times, Guardian, Miami Herald, BBC, Reuters, CNN, Apple News, fee.org, completely different search results. Completely different search results. And they're all news organizations. They're all big news organizations. The Guardian, New York Times, Miami Herald, BBC, Reuters, CNN, Apple News. And you come back over here and you get New York Post, CNBC, like local channels. Then you got New York Times here twice, ABC News, News Yahoo. You didn't see that at all on Google. The Guardian, New York Post again, Yahoo News again. You do not see that all on Google. At all. USA Today, you didn't see that on Google. CTV News, you didn't see that on Google. The results are completely different. So please, if you can, try and use DuckDuckGo or a different search engine that isn't so biased. And when I mean biased, I mean politically biased, because that's exactly what it is. It's politically biased, and it's a problem. Whether you're for the left or right, or whether you're Christian, atheist, whatever you are, your results shouldn't be based on an algorithm. It shouldn't be based on biases. It should be based on what's the facts. It should be based on what's the best news. What is the thing that everyone agrees on? Rather than, hey, let's just shove all this stuff down your throat and see if you'll understand it. Because a lot of these websites don't point out the facts, and that's a serious problem. A lot of them just mosey over the topic and then completely change the subject to make you completely forget about it, and that's a serious problem. This Maxwell trial should be the biggest thing right now in the country. because it's exposing CEOs all across corporations, all across this country right now. And you can look that up as well. How many CEOs are stepping down during this trial? It is insane. So please, stop using Google. Try some different search engines. Do some research into the news that you're interested in. And stop just listening to biased people. And I'm going to tell you right now, the majority of news websites are biased. So you have to do some hard digging. It's disgusting what is the censorship and the level of manipulation over the media has. The media has enormous amounts of manipulation. It's ridiculous. And it's only going to continue if people continue to use Google and continue to only watch mainstream news or media. Y'all need to do some more digging. And I understand a lot of people don't have time to do such a thing. But even if it's just like 30 minutes, just look into it. Don't just go click on CNN or Fox News. Look for it. Research it. Look for it. Get some other opinions. Stop just siding with the left or siding with the right. You should be looking at all forms of media. You should be looking at all opinions. You should be looking at all facts, and you should be trying to tie things together to figure out the truth, because everything is so misguided now. So misguided. So thank you for watching this video, and please leave a like, comment, tell me what you think. Tell me if you're going to use DuckDuckGo, please do, because the level of censorship and the manipulation of media, it's basically brainwashing people to think that I'm right, what I look at is right, what you look at is wrong, you're wrong. And that's exactly what's going on in this country. It's going on worldwide as well. People fighting over stuff that they shouldn't be fighting over. It's ridiculous. Especially politics. Why are we fighting over politics? Why is it so open, and why do people, completely resonate themselves with the left or the right? Like, that's not who you are. Your political ideas should have nothing to do with your personality. They really shouldn't. Nor should people be sharing who they're voting for. That should be all anonymous, just like it used to be. So, again, thank you guys for watching, and please have a beautiful rest of your day. Peace.